Hello everyone and welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Josh, joined today by Kirsten Ria. Say hello, Kirsten.
Hello.
Because unless you've been living under a anti-gaming rock, if those exist, you probably know that a new Fable was announced last night, finally after years of speculation. And it seems like it's going to be essentially a new beginning, as it was quoted, for the entire franchise. It's not called Fable 4, it's just plain old Fable. There are new developers in Playground Games, who is a British studio that is best known for their work on Forza Horizon, which is a racing series, so a far cry away from the fantasy RPG stylings of the franchise as a whole. I've got to admit, while I am interested in Fable, I am not the biggest fan, so this is why I'm going to lean heavily on Kirsten today, because you are a fan, Kirsten. So before we jump into the rumours and what we know, what was your initial reaction watching that One More Thing teaser at the end of the showcase last night?
Well, there is a video that I have put up on my Instagram and my Twitter of me literally screaming when I saw that Fable logo come up. As the trailer started, I was like, oh, could it be? Could it be? And I was sat there watching it with my partner, and there's this beautiful little fairy flying around. I was like, oh, I don't know. Because the other games had like a woman. She's like the main sort of narrator of the games. She's called Teresa.
Yeah.
And when I heard the male voice, I was like, oh, it might not be. But then as soon as that fairy was gobbled up by that huge frog, I was like, oh, it could be. Oh, it could be. And then as soon as that Fable came, I was like, yeah!
Yes.
I'm sure that you guys can watch it. It is, I'm sorry about your eardrums. I burst a lot of people's eardrums. I don't think they thought that was going to happen. I'm so sorry. But yes, let's just say I was very happy.
Yeah, that's an understatement by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people had the exact same reaction, especially when, like you said, the frog ate the fairy. That seems like it was classic Fable, you know, in line with that style of humour.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was the moment where all Xbox fans around the world went, this is it. This is going to be the next series, the next installment. But apart from, you know, a quick teaser and the announcement that it is going to be a new beginning, we didn't get much in the way of concrete details. I do have a quote from Aaron Greenberg, who is the general manager of Xbox Games Marketing, who said after the announcement, quote, in regards to Playground Games, we're letting them get a fresh start with the franchise, and really, you can see it's still got the classic British humour that's really true to the franchise. It's obviously going to be a role-playing game. We've got the best folks in the industry working on it. Today was just the reveal of the game, and we're excited to officially say that Fable's coming, and we'll share more when we're ready. Sorry for mangling that quote again, but essentially, officially, that's all we know. But like I said at the beginning, if we go back 1 or 2 years, there are a lot of seemingly valid leaks now, because way back when it was initially reported that Playground Games was working on the next Fable, a bunch of other details came out, and we've been kind of treating them as if they were official, because all signs seemed to point towards them being so. But now that we do have our first confirmation, it's kind of added a bit more validity to these details, so I'm just going to essentially run them down for you. So first we have a Eurogamer report that went live in 2018, and that was the first time we properly heard about it. This was saying that Playground had invested in a new studio. It was getting around a staff of around 200 people, so it's going to be a big game. They said that it was going to be a character-focused open-world action RPG, which is essentially what Aaron Greenberg said there. But then a year later, there was another leak, and this is where all of the kind of big gameplay and plot information came from. And the most important thing probably is that Albion and Aurora, the locations of the previous game, are essentially destroyed now. In fact, the whole planet has been destroyed by an asteroid, if these leaks are to be true. And the new game will be set eons in the future, it says. But it's still got this like medieval style aesthetic and framing, and this fantasy framing like Fable always has. But the plot, essentially, according to this, is going to be you as the player attempting to stop another asteroid from hitting the planet and repeating this cycle of destruction, which, as a way of kind of having a clean break, I quite like, because like I said at the beginning, I don't have a load of fondness for the settings of Fable, you know, as a distinct place. But how would you feel, Kirsten, about the potential of them essentially wiping the slate clean by destroying what came before so they can build on top of it anew?
Yeah, it's very strange, especially as in the trailer. The main giveaway for me, apart from obviously the frog, is when it sort of, you know, glided up and you could see this sort of kingdom in the background, because that to me looked a lot like Albion. So for them to say that they're going to just destroy it all is a little bit heartbreaking, because I like Albion.
Well, this is it, yeah.
So that's a bit strange that they would sort of show something that to me really resembled Albion, for it to say like either it's not that or it's just going to be destroyed in a minute anyway. Is a little bit like, oh, okay. Fine, that's okay, I guess. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've waited so long for a Fable game. If that's what they want to do, then fine, I'll still play it. But I'm very intrigued as to how they're going to do that, because a lot of the time, I mean, especially with like an asteroid, usually they kind of go more down the supernatural route with like sort of demons and witches and stuff, like, oh, you've got to stop this evil witch or evil king, or these demons that are taking over. So for them to go simply to it's an asteroid that you've got to try and stop, I'm guessing with magic and things.
Yes.
It seems a little bit plain, but yeah, okay. If that's the route they want to go down, I guess I've just got to deal with it.
I will add that apparently it's a supernatural asteroid.
Oh,
it's
okay,
happening because someone put a curse on essentially put a curse on the planet and doomed this cycle of destruction to happen first to Albion and then in the future. But all might not be lost, because just because these things might get destroyed, the leak also says that there will be an element of time travel involved. So it's not just going to be a complete slate wipe. There are still going to be elements that kind of follow through to this new game, and they cite the Heroes Guild and the Jack-o'-Blades and Teresa as elements of the original series that will carry over in one form or another. So it sounds like even though they are having this clean break by apparently just destroying the whole place, there will still be elements that are recognizable to the series and that fans love that do return. So I wonder if this kind of weird time travel thing is involved, and if there is a curse or a spell or whatever, I wonder whether there will be a way to go back and save Albion, for instance, at the end of the game, if you can retroactively impact it like that. I don't know, that's entirely speculation on my behalf, but I feel like as a kind of world-ending premise, there seems like there's a lot of potential for role-playing within that, because again, this leak continues to say that you'll have essentially complete freedom. You don't have to do the main quest if you don't want to do it. You don't have to be a good guy. You don't have to stop the asteroid, probably, if you don't want to do it. You will be able to tailor your character to either side of the moral spectrum or somewhere in the middle, like you could in the original Fable games, which for me, again, is a big win. I don't want to see it streamlined in the same way that Fable 3 was, because I could not get into that game because it felt like they stripped so many elements that I liked away from it, and I want to see them go back to more of the Fable 2 style, the Fable 1 style of just letting you essentially have an impact on the world and tailor your character to however you want them to be. Speaking of like character customization though, apparently again this is going to have a deep character customization set of tools for you to essentially build the hero or villain that you want to build. And also you can build towns now according to this leak. You're going to have an impact on the actual geography of the landscape and the settlements and stuff like that, and build your little villages, your little fantasy villages. And apparently this will impact the plot in a way according to this leak, but I don't know obviously how that will factor into the plot. Perhaps you're building a resistance against some kind of evil force or something, but I like the idea of those community elements being in it. I remember like the marriage element of the other Fable games was I was a big fan of doing stuff like that. I just want dull domesticity in my games, Kirsten, you know what I mean? I want to be able to beat the main plot, but then also just settle down with the family and just chill out and have my dog and have my kids and enjoy this town that I've built. But I feel like that's another way of allowing you to, again, kind of impact the world. I'm not sure whether that's something that would interest you or whether you would choose to ignore that, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's nice to have that option, especially with the characterization that you get is always good, because what's really good about the Fable games is as they went on, they allowed you to customize your character more and more, as well as obviously going on the decisions that you make as to whether you went down like the good route or the evil route. So that's always a big one for me, and I'm glad that they're kind of going down like, we're allowing more customization, and there's going to be, because it's nice, I think, being able to create someone like what you said, that kind of resembles you, so that you can be like, I'm just going to chill out with the kids and all this sort of stuff. It's nice to have, and having being able to sort of build your town as well is very interesting, because that makes me wonder as to, when they say that's going to impact the story, is maybe you build, a nice, happy, friendly town where everyone sort of loves you, or you can kind of go down maybe a route where it's like all brothels and fighting and all that sort of stuff, and that's kind of more like the evil route. So it's going to be very interesting as to how these seemingly small decisions can affect the end game. But yeah,
definitely,
that's what's so great about Fable.
And I want to see them like double down on it. I feel like the big worry that people might have is whether or not it's going to be, like I said, either stripped back from what people loved about the original 2 games especially, or perhaps a worry that they're going to go down a live service or games as service kind of mentality, where it's an RPG more in terms of the loot you get rather than the decisions you can make on the plot and stuff. And I feel like, with what they're talking about, what Aaron Greenberg was saying, like, this is going to be a role-playing game. This is going to be you as a character in this world, influencing the world. That's exactly what I want to see. And they've had a bunch of kind of personnel that they've been adding over the years since 2018, when, as per that Eurogamer report, they were adding a bunch of new team members to the staff. They've got a bunch of writers from Arkham Knight. They've got employees who worked on Metal Gear Solid 5, Ghost Recon. So it sounds like they're really going down this character-focused, open-world experience that does sound, in a lot of ways, classically Fable, and yet very clearly a new beginning in the way that they are marking a break from the older games, and the new developers are allowed to put their new spin on it. So hopefully, and again, take all of this with a pinch of salt, like these have been rumors and leaks that have been around for a while, but they do seem to have more validity considering what we saw the other night and the confirmation that Playground Games is indeed working on this series now. So yeah, that's all we know at the moment, but I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you have a reaction like Kirsten when you saw Fable pop up on the screen, or couldn't you be all that bothered? Either way, while you're down there, can you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to WhatCulture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. I don't know why I always point over there. WhatCulture.com isn't even in that direction geographically. I think it's that way, but it doesn't matter. While you're down there, like I said, like, share, subscribe, and head over to WhatCulture.com. I've already said this already.
He's just going.
Again. I'm just saying it again like a robot. I'm going to do. But it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter where WhatCulture.com is. The content is right here. And before I drag this outro on any longer, I've been Josh, joined today by Kirsten, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.